So right now, let's try to address this question that we so often hear from brand new teachers. How do I create a year's worth of curriculum? A more appropriate question would be, how do I and my colleagues create a year's worth of curriculum? Because as a brand new teacher, I want to make sure that I'm working with my colleagues as much as possible to provide the best learning experience for my students. So the first step as a new teacher is to examine and really look closely at the content standards as well as the existing key assessments that already are in place in my course. We do this in order to identify all of the essential knowledge and skills, or EKASs, that need to be taught. So as I go to my state-approved content standards, I can look closely and identify what are the knowledge pieces, or in other words, the vocabulary and knowledge elements that my students need to master, as well as the skills and performances that my students need to be able to do. And I make a list of those. I also need to look at key assessments that are already in place for my grade level, be it a state assessment, a local or district assessment, as well as any other key assessments that my colleagues already have in place. When I look at the assessments and the content standards, I can make a master list of all the essential knowledge and skills that need to be taught. So as we start to work through the process, we might come up with a list like this. Now, based on this master list, we then do the second step, which is to work to create bundles of related essential knowledge and skills. We want to look where there is a natural fit between different knowledge and skill pieces. For example, there might be vocabulary and skills related to speaking and listening that our students need to master that might jive very well with other standards, knowledge pieces, and skills in reading of informational texts. We bundle these together in places where there is a natural fit. Now, it can sometimes be challenging to find a bundle or good fit for all of our essential knowledge and skills, and that's to be expected, but our goal should be to never teach anything in isolation. As we finish up our bundles, we then need to make sure that all of our essential knowledge and skills are accounted for. So I'd go look at my bundles and then go to my master list of all of my essential knowledge and skills and make sure that none are left out. Once we have a firm grasp of what needs to be taught, and how those different pieces might fit together in different bundles, we consider district, school, and colleague recommended curriculum resources. These could be fiction and nonfiction books that we have on hand for our students to read, analyze, and learn from. They might also include textbooks that suggest a variety of texts and activities in reading, writing, listening, speaking, and language use. And we should also be in contact with our colleagues about what online curriculum resources are available to us and our students. With these resources, we are ready to arrange our bundles and resources into a coherent scope and sequence document. This document can help us outline and decide on the pacing of different units, such as this unit, this one, and this one, as well as provide a weekly overview of what knowledge, skills, assessments, topics, and learning activities will be covered. Though this document is not set in stone, it helps ensure that throughout the semester or school year, our students are able to work to develop all of the essential knowledge and skills that need to be covered. Now, with this outline in place, we can spend our first year of teaching developing learning objectives, assessments, and learning activities for each instructional day. My suggestion is to try to get ahead for at least 1 to 2 weeks. So here you can see that this teacher on Google Drive has gone in and created a folder for each week. Week 1, Week 2, Week 3, Week 4. And within Week 1 and Week 2, we can see that the teacher has developed lesson plans, clear learning objectives, formative and summative assessments, and a number of challenging and engaging learning activities for their students. Then, after each instructional day, the teacher should seek to improve the lesson by making revisions and changes to it. So at the start of the school day, the lesson plan might look something like this. But based on how the lesson unfolds with students, we can make all sorts of revisions and changes to ensure that the next time this lesson is taught, that it is more accessible and engaging to students. This could include revisions and changes to learning objectives, procedures, transitions, directions given to the students, as well as the materials used during instructional time. So now we continue to compile these improved activities as we go throughout the school year. The result is that we would have each unit and even weeks broken down. The result would be that we have an entire semester or even school year of lesson plans, learning objectives, formative and summative assessments, and learning activities for each week of instruction. And that is how I, as a new teacher, can work with my colleagues to create a year's worth of curriculum.